Have you ever been with someone who seemed caring but distant, who pulled away just when things started to feel close or emotionally intimate? Chances are you were dealing with someone with a dismissive-avoidant attachment style. Dismissive avoidants aren't cold-hearted. They're often deeply afraid of intimacy. This fear doesn't always show up in obvious ways, but it quietly shapes how they engage in relationships. This video explores the complex psychology behind the dismissive-avoidant attachment style, what causes it, how it impacts relationships, and what can be done to create healthy, secure connections. Let's begin by understanding what a dismissive-avoidant attachment style actually is. People with this attachment style learned often in early childhood that vulnerability wasn't safe. Their emotional needs may have been ignored, minimized, or even punished. In response, they developed a protective strategy. If I don't need anyone, I won't get hurt. Strong sense of independence, discomfort with emotional closeness, suppressing or denying feelings, avoiding conflict by withdrawing, feeling overwhelmed by the needs of others, valuing logic and control over emotional expression. Dismissive avoidants typically pride themselves on being self-sufficient. They may appear emotionally flat, aloof, or indifferent, but beneath the surface is often a deep discomfort with vulnerability and a fear of being seen. Anxious attachers crave closeness and often feel insecure without reassurance. Fearful avoidants both fear and crave intimacy, experiencing inner conflict. Secure attachers feel comfortable with both intimacy and autonomy. Dismissive avoidants stand out in that they value autonomy above all. They're more likely to detach when relationships become too intimate or emotionally charged. But this detachment isn't because they don't care. It's a coping mechanism developed in early life. For dismissive avoidants, intimacy can feel threatening. Why? Because true intimacy requires vulnerability, and vulnerability means allowing another person to see the parts of you that feel weak, scared, or unsure. Dismissive avoidants are often emotionally disconnected from their own feelings. Expressing needs may feel foreign, shameful, or weak. They may push people away when they feel too dependent or emotionally exposed. This can create a push-pull dynamic in relationships. The closer someone gets, the more likely the avoidant is to retreat, shut down, or minimize their emotional involvement. They may rationalize their behavior with thoughts like, "I don't really need anyone," or "this relationship wouldn't have worked anyway." People with this attachment style learned that relying on others often led to disappointment, so they internalized the belief that they must handle everything alone. As a result, they may dismiss or downplay their partner's needs, not out of cruelty, but because they genuinely don't know how to meet them. Being in a relationship with a dismissive avoidant can feel confusing. Their partners may feel unwanted, unloved, or even invisible, while the avoidant may feel smothered, overwhelmed, or emotionally unsafe. Difficulty communicating emotions and needs. Pulling away during conflict or emotional conversations. Inconsistent levels of intimacy and affection. Fear of dependency or enmeshment. These behaviors often lead to misunderstandings, emotional distance, and even breakups. Without awareness, both partners can become stuck in a cycle of triggering each other's core wounds. Understanding one's attachment style is a powerful step toward healing. When dismissive avoidants become aware of their patterns, they can begin to shift them consciously. They can learn that intimacy isn't a threat, it's a doorway to meaningful connection. Therapy or coaching can offer a safe, structured space to explore the root of these fears. With support, dismissive avoidants can begin to reconnect with their emotional world and gradually feel safer sharing it with others. Learning to sit with uncomfortable emotions, rather than avoiding or numbing them, is the first step. Self-compassion practices help create a sense of safety within. This allows avoidants to begin trusting their inner world. This doesn't mean oversharing. It means learning to name one's needs, set boundaries, and be emotionally present, even when it feels unfamiliar or uncomfortable. It's about practicing openness, one small step at a time. Over time, through consistent self-work, therapy, and secure relationships, dismissive avoidants can begin to feel more emotionally safe. They learn that connection doesn't mean loss of self. They realize they can love and be loved without abandoning themselves or others. Reframing past experiences, practicing trust in safe relationships, repairing attachment wounds from childhood, building a sense of safety in emotional expression. The fear of intimacy and dismissive avoidance is not a character flaw. It's a learned survival strategy. But it doesn't have to be permanent. With awareness, compassion, and a commitment to healing, dismissive avoidance can move from isolation to connection. If you or someone you love struggles with emotional closeness, know that healing is possible. Intimacy doesn't have to be terrifying. It can be safe, empowering, and deeply fulfilling. Let this be a reminder that we're all wired for connection, even those who fear it the most. If this resonates with you, consider exploring your own attachment style and know that support is available. Healing is not only possible, it's your birthright.